And this brings up one of my favorite pyramids. And this is the 4 levels of value. Have you guys seen this one before?
Loves pyramids.
Okay.
Jimmy.
At the bottom, we have implementation. There's 4 levels of value for the podcast listeners. So 4 levels of value. And the value is at the bottom. We go up, it's more valuable. At the bottom is implementation. That's doing the thing. That's making the donut. Okay. And that's why you saw a lot of suggestions in the chat saying, well, what if you could do some things at night? Or what if you could work on every other Saturday? That doesn't scale because what you're asking people to do is do more of the thing. Okay. You have to go up higher in the value pyramid, inverted pyramid, to become more valuable. The next step up is unification. That's where Tony's living right now. That's where Tony wants people thinking. As a PT or business owner, how can you have a PT manage several people so you can have more people getting care at the same time, from more good care from people who are qualified to do this? What you're saying is, I have a baseball team. I want the person, you're telling me my best fielder is going to play first base? I feel like they should be playing shortstop because more balls get hit over there. Can I put a less good fielder at first base? Not to knock first baseman, I was a first baseman. So what they're saying, can you put people in different positions and get a better outcome? That's unification. Can you utilize PTs and PTAs as a powerful duo, as a battery? I think you can. That's what Tony's getting at. Tony was also getting at communication, recording what you're doing. And you're saying that when I'm putting out this information, people already understand. They're picking you over someone else because they have this affinity to you. That's the 3rd level in the value pyramid, with the 4 levels of value. Communication and imagination is taking something that doesn't exist right now, like a telehealth triage, make the experience and waiting, however long that wait time, make the train ride really fun. That's imagination. If you can do something like that, or a combination of all 4, my friends, this is how you become more valuable. And that's how we choose things. We choose things on cost and perceived value, and we weigh those things. Today is Amazon Prime Day. Amazon Prime Day likes to focus on cost, but Amazon Prime focuses on value. That's how they make sure that twice a year, when they say it's Prime Day, you're putting things in your cart and seeing what's coming up. So I think, Tony, what you're getting at is, hey, what about this player who's on the bench that we barely, we underutilize, the PTA? Is that part of our solution? And I got to be honest, I'm agreeing with you on that.
I want to ask Dave. I want to ask you, Dave, and I know you're going to talk about it. So like your clientele, I think, and I could be totally wrong, you're selling the title, you're selling the prestige. I can choose to hire the best of the best, and I can buy the Ferrari, or I can get a kit car that looks like a Ferrari. So what are your thoughts on hiring an aide that you have personally trained to deliver just the same quality of care, or a physical therapist assistant? And I'm not, saying the two are the same, for your clientele.
Funny you ask, because it just started to be implemented last week or the week before, very recently. Now, I wanted to ask, because you were saying PTA, Tony, but then you also said unlicensed, right? So you're saying either an aide, or can I look between the lines, personal trainers or whatever? Like, that's kind of what you were hinting at.
And that's the thing. Like, I think you have levels, but when I look at the resources we have available, if I want to build something that's more accessible, that's still insurance covered, I would go to the physical therapist assistant.
Right,
and I believe that the physical therapist assistant is equally qualified to the physical therapist when it comes to everything between the bookends, between the evaluation and the discharge, right? But if I'm looking at going cash base, I would not even necessarily limit myself to a physical therapist assistant. I would go unlicensed. I would hire for personality. I would hire for other soft skills, because now I can cast a wider net, and there's far more opportunities for me to go outside of just licensed individuals in a cash-based world.
So sometimes on these shows or other shows I listen to, it's, pie in the sky or theoretical, whatever. We're going to go tactical right now. I'm going to share numbers. I'm going to share steps. We just implemented this. I mentioned this with Tony before, maybe on the show or another show, but we have certain clients that use us for 3, 4, 5, sometimes more days per week. I know it sounds excessive, but maybe they're geriatric. The family wants them to keep moving. And sometimes they don't even care. They literally will tell me, like, just they want us, like, oh, you can't find a physical therapist, like, who else could you hire or whatever. Literally, some families say that to us. Okay, so one of these families recently, I was having challenges with covering because I'm trying to do some of this semi-maternity leave thing, and they just want someone to come to exercise with the older family member 5 days a week. Okay, I had to pay a therapist a while ago a little bit extra, so instead of $80 a visit, it was $90 a visit. Then I said, hey, I need you to see this client as much as possible. Like I said, pick a number. Like what's your number that'll be a no-brainer for you to come do this? He goes, $130 a visit, because obviously we're charging like $250 a visit, right? So the therapist says $130 a visit. I go, okay, done. So he starts seeing this client 3, 4, 5 days a week for about a month or two. And then the therapist says, because the therapist lives in Manhattan and this other client is in Brooklyn, somewhere kind of out of the way. So the therapist says, I want to stay in Manhattan. I'm getting my Manhattan caseload busy, so I don't want to go to Brooklyn anymore because this client is kind of out of the way. And I know you paid me extra because of the walk from the subway and all that. Okay. So then I lost him. I have tried, Jimmy and Tony, guys and gals listening, physical therapists, purists listening. I have tried to get more therapists either hired. I've gone on LinkedIn. I've contacted PTAs. I've contacted PTAs on LinkedIn, cold, sending them messages. It's been challenging. So this is what I did. I told the family, hey, we're gonna hire a personal trainer. I'm gonna handle everything. And we did I picked 2 different companies. The first assessment was free. So I went on, this was a couple weeks ago or whatever. I went to the normal visit time with this client who's been in our practice for almost 4 years. They love us. We can get into how we retain clients or whatever, but the family just wants the family member to move. So then I said, okay, let's try these 2 personal training companies. I'm going to manage the whole thing. You're going to continue to pay me the same rate. So here's some numbers. I buy. We go through two different companies. The first trainer was okay. The next one was like really great. And then so we go, okay, I'm going to buy a $24 visit package. It was like $19.95. It came out to like $83 a session. I'm charging $250. Great margin. And I want to say it now and loud and proud that this personal training company, these trainers, the owner of the company, the owner's getting a little margin. The trainer is happy. And it's like, I'm looking at this like, this is genius. And it's not through insurance. So it doesn't matter. Like, and it's not right now, it's not medically necessary. If he has a setback, some pain, injury, a fall, whatever, we'll either myself or we'll install a physical therapist back into the plan of care, back into the household, and not have the personal trainer there. But my comment on this is these personal training companies are hungry, and they're hungrier, dare I say, they are hungrier than the doctors of physical therapy out there. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.